Welcome to day 271 of our BU 365-day challenge. Do one thing every day that improves us. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and today we're talking about communication for the rest of the month, and how it interacts with the other areas of the life framework. Here's the linear depiction of the life framework. Here's the actual depiction of the life framework, and how the different areas and aspects of our life interact with one another. Now, I drew this to explain to one of my coaching clients, my consulting clients, that every area and aspect of our life is important because it does interact with all the other areas. So today we're going to spend some time talking about the impact of communication on our everyday life. I'll share 7 or 8 things about that. Then we'll talk about 8 ways to improve our communication, possible ways to improve our communication. And our action item today is to simply think about, notice, and share one aha or realization or epiphany that you've had about how communication and the other impacts the other areas and aspects of your life. Just one thing that over the last 28 days we've learned, or you've learned. I know what I've learned. What have you learned about how important or not important communication is in the different areas and aspects of our life? Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution, and of course, communication itself. And confidence. I almost forgot confidence. 9 areas and aspects on our model of the life framework. Now, communication, and we talked about this yesterday, is one of the critical skills that we need to have in order to survive and get by in life, right? And to create what we want in our life. We learn to communicate as babies. It's really fun hanging out with my now almost 20-month-old granddaughter. Is she 20? 19. She's 19 months old. So 19 months old, year and a half old. And how every day she learns new, or says new words. She's obviously got them in her head and they've been there a while, but now she's learning how to enunciate them and say those words. So every day it's a new word, and it's really, really fun to hear how she pronounces different words. But that's part of, she's had a year and a half exposure to people talking, to different, kids programming, to experiences, and how that then manifests itself in her life is really, really interesting. And what words she says first, and what words are most important, and what words she likes to say the most. I mean, she's definitely a hello gal. And bye-bye, and blowing kisses and things. But up, down, the words that are actually the action words, if I think about it, it seems like it's the action words that she's saying the most. But the interaction as well, the communicating with other people in a way that we all understand. Now, we taught her sign language as a baby, so it's really interesting. I never knew any sign language, but we could communicate with her at a very young age, because she could actually let us know a little bit of what she was thinking, even though she didn't have the ability to speak yet. So how does communication interact and impact our everyday life? I think you probably know most of these, but let's review them anyway. Number 1, it builds trust. I guess trust and understanding. Number 2, it builds trust and relationships. Number 2, opens doors to new opportunities, right? If you can communicate, ask questions, hear and understand things, it opens up opportunities for us in our lives, in all areas and aspects of our life. 3, it develops your personality. 4, helps solve conflicts. 5, helps express your ideas and personal needs. People aren't mind readers. They can't give us what we want if we can't express and tell them what we want so that they can understand and say they will or will not. Number 6, makes you stand out from the crowd. Some of the most successful people, or the most influential people we can think of or know, are those that have the ability to communicate, meaning they have the ability to help people understand. And maybe it's understand complex concepts. Maybe it's understand and lead. Leaders are almost always great communicators. Now, I'm talking real leaders, not people that just happen to be in a position of authority. There's a difference between power and authority and leadership, for sure. We'll talk about that later, maybe this year. And then it helps improve and finally 7, it helps improve our decision making. If we can communicate, if we can articulate, and there's been a lot of studies done on leadership. I like leadership, obviously. So leadership and vocabulary, leadership and readers, things like that. People that understand and communicate, people that have a bigger vocabulary tend to rise higher in the ranks of different leadership organizations, whether it's politics, corporate, religion, businesses, etc. or just influencing the world, because they have more, I think it's because they have more access to different emotions. And when you have access to emotions, you can communicate more clearly with people, and you can understand and empathize with them better. So what are some ways to improve our communication? We've talked about many of these this month, but let's review some of the main ones again. And I'll share 8 of these. Number 1, develop active listening. I've admitted that I need to, for the rest of my life, continue to improve and work on my listening skills. Again, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, and I remind myself of that almost daily because I need to listen. I have learned that everything we need to know about any person, place, thing, or situation, if we listen, ask questions, and then listen, and really listen, actively listen, and then repeat back and ask clarifying questions so that we understand what we're hearing, people will tell us absolutely everything we need to know about pretty much everything. Themselves, how to serve them, situations. Sometimes if you ask the right questions, people disclose things that they never even intended to disclose. Not that we're trying to get at their secret information, but they will be a lot more open and honest. Number 2, ask for feedback. Some of the most successful people I know are those that are continually seeking feedback, and how are they impacting others? They're asking themselves, okay, I said this, how did people respond? How did it impact them? Did it land the way I wanted it to land? Comedians and actors and actresses are masters of this skill, where they try something out, they get the feedback from the audience, and then they tweak it based on the feedback that they get from their audience. Incredible communicators. Number 3, practice public speaking. I know it's hard, but it's awesome for all of us. And here's the thing. Public speaking is a skill that the vast majority of people in the population are petrified of even attempting. So if you're willing to try and do and master and figure that out and speak publicly, it always opens doors for you. Number 4, pause before speaking. Ooh, that's another one I'm going to continue to work on. Take a deep breath. Instead of just responding and opening your mouth immediately, it's okay to take a deep breath. Think about what you're going to say and then speak. Number 5, mind your body language, meaning pay attention to your body language because it often speaks much louder than the words that you're saying. Number 6, develop empathy. I don't know where 7 and 8 are. I guess I didn't count right. Pause before speaking, mind body language, develop empathy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 6 of those, not 8. I guess I can't count today. All right, midweek gets the crazies. All right, so communication. Think about your communication skills and all the things we've talked about in communication and how they impact the other areas and aspects of your life. I will admit, communication and lack of communication on my part and my partner's part is in part responsible for the dissolution of our marriage and that relationship. My spirit, I guess, physical, mental, how we talk to ourselves is also communication. I don't know if we talked about that very much this period, which we really should have, because communication, maybe I'll look at my calendar and see when we're talking about other topics. We're almost to the end of the month, but I do think we need to spend a day on communication with ourselves and how we talk to ourselves. Just thought of that. I'm gonna write a little note, talk to self, because that impacts so many other areas of the life framework, right? How we talk to ourselves about our physical body has a lot to do with what our physical body looks like. How we talk to ourselves with respect to our spirit, our emotions, and our mental well-being all has a huge impact on the results that we'll take, the action we'll take, etc. So share one realization you have about communication and other areas of your life that you've gleaned this month. I will do the same. Any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow.